I pronounced my name wrong. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you guys to be here at Harbour.Space at UTCC, and welcome to our Network.Space. And this is the first time, not the first time that we organize this event, but the first time of this year that we organized Network.Space. We bring Network.Space back again. Actually, Network.Space is one of the projects initiated by one of our students, and this is the guys who initiated this project. Please give him a big hand. Yes, and before that, Happy New Year's, Happy Chinese New Year for those who, have, I don't know, who are Chinese and who are from China. We have to welcome them. We love them so much in Thailand. And some of you might be interested, like who we are, what we are doing here in UTCC. And when you came to this space, you can see very beautiful and I would say state of the art. This is what we always say. We have state of the art campus, who we are, where we are from. So we have the brief video about Harbour.Space for you. So please take a look.
The world is changing, and so is the way we learn.
Harbour.Space is changing what it means to be at university.
Here, you can find your passion, encourage your exploration,
and build a future that you truly love.
But getting there doesn't have to be boring. 4 months on a course? No way. We learn through 3-week sprints, so we stay focused on a single topic.
Our teachers are industry leaders, entrepreneurs,
designers, coders,
marketers,
today's change makers,
and visiting professors from top universities.
Here, you'll learn by doing, work on real-world projects,
and collaborate in teams on ideas that will shape our future.
And when we're not here, we're out here.
This is our city, bustling Bangkok.
Oh, and did we mention our other campus?
Hola! We've got another campus in sunny Barcelona, in case you want a change of scenery.
So what are you waiting for?
Experience 2 amazing cities
with others from all over the world,
and get a diploma and accreditation to
upskill, reskill, build your startup, or scale existing ones.
Build a portfolio together with your network and level up
at a state-of-the-art university for technology, entrepreneurship, and design in the heart of Bangkok.
I want to keep you, curious, and because I want you to go around after these sessions and find out who are the staff of Harbour.Space. And if you're interested to talk more about Harbour.Space, please talk to staff. Do we have the staff here who can give information about Harbour.Space? Please raise your hand. Yes, over there we have we have our students joining this event as well. So after the sessions, you can go and talk to them. So without further ado, I don't want to drag any longer. I would like to invite one of our moderator, Dev, to run the sessions.
Thank you, Chris. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Network.Space. This is where we bring the best minds from tech, design, and entrepreneurship. And as you all know, this is the first Network.Space for this year. Some of you might be wondering, just like me, what is the real implication of generative AI in startups? We all use AI here and there, but this is what we want to talk about today. And one of our speakers actually, Yoni, would like to take us through and bring us all up to speed. So let's have a round of applause for Yoni, and let's get it rolling. Thank you.
Should I stand here or there? On the stage. On the stage? Yes. Okay. So thank you all. I have only 20 minutes, so we need to rush. I was thinking about doing the presentation about the production, how to scale and stuff, but actually I was thinking, we're here in the Entrepreneurship Hub, so let's talk about the inspiration. So AI, everyone talks about AI. It's exploding, literally. If you see on the numbers, you see that the time frame when it's really growing is much even faster when we had that with the iPhone. Remember, Steve Jobs stands on the stage, scroll down the first iPhone, everyone, wow. So see the trends, see where is the AI right now. exploding, booming. And ecosystem itself, a number of startups that doing something related to the AI, exploding as well. And not to talk about the demand. Who knows who's NVIDIA? NVIDIA company, right? So NVIDIA is in charge of all computation power for all this AI stuff. It's surging. The stock market, literally, if you will look, the numbers is like 5x on every evaluation would happen, and it's only one company that able to provide this computation power. And if you're talking about the companies, not only startups, every single company today in the industry is actually looking on what, how, and can be built using the AI. And ChatGPT, who used ChatGPT here? Touched it. Yes, everyone's there. So think about this. ChatGPT introduced GPT 3.5 only 1 year ago, December 2022. It had 0 revenue. Now, 1 year after, more than $1 billion revenue, dollars. Crazy, like less than a year. More than 100 million active users. It's insane. No product in the world achieves so much in so short a period of time. And recently, we had new worker. So we have AI model, the actual person that doesn't exist, but actually it's a person. What? Yeah, it's a person that was created by model agency to provide models service, right? Only AI, and actually it's earning money. It's 1 week ago. It was officially published, and think about all the stuff that we are humans need to do in order to produce ads and all this stuff. It's gone. So who I am? I'm Yoni, or officially Yonatan, but I prefer Yoni. It's shorter for friends. We're all friends here. In my life, I'm doing various stuff. I'm part of my company Monday.com. Who using Monday.com here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lucky persons. Thank you for paying my salary. And actually, I'm leading everything related to AI in Monday.com, overseeing different domains, different efforts. On my free time, I'm volunteering in X Academy. Basically, it's my NGO that helps people to learn how to code. And also, I'm part of the Google Developer Expert Network. Basically, there's 300 experts over the world that Google keep closing and feeding us with the new technology and be ambassador of that. Funny stuff. So what we're going to do today, very short talk, mainly about bring you up to speed about what's a generative AI, how it works, what is LLM, how we can use it. And for that, I need you, right? So are you ready to learn about it? Yeah, exciting over the year. Okay, let's do this thing. I have this, I call it applause bar, right? So here is like, actually like you did, like, clapping. But as bar is rising, here you're going nuts, like shouting, clapping, going crazy. Deal? Yes? So let's start. Clapping, yeah, come on. Clapping, everyone, I see you. I see you too. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go, no, no, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Woo! Thank you, thank you. So, foundation first. ChatGPT, everyone knows ChatGPT, and everyone by mistake thinks this is the AI. Actually, it's not AI. It's basically just a website. What is AI is when you clicked on the left side, you see GPT-4, and you click on it, and you see two things, GPT-4 and GPT 5.3. So this is actually the AI. This is something that we called large language models, or LLMs, okay? And basically, what is an LLM? You can think about it as a black box. When you giving some sort of input, and everything that it's doing is just completing the input that you gave. We can do this, for example, if I say hello. So what are you saying? How you complete it? Hello, hello. Okay, and you? Hi. Hello? Yeah. So you see, like 3 different persons, 3 different completion. So basically, this is the LLM. It's basically just complete the beginning of the sentence that you wrote, or actually the input. And when you look inside of it, actually it's built from 2 parts. One part is only 300 lines of code. That's it, nothing more, that running all this stuff. And the rest is basically something that we call parameters. Basically, parameters, they over 1.7 trillion parameters for the GPT-4. And those parameters basically compressed internet. So entire human knowledge that's available on the global network were compressed and then fed to the model in order to build neural network. And how they build it? Actually, using computation power of the GPUs. You know what's on the screen? It's GPU. Basically, it's a chip H100. The most expensive thing, it's cost around $40,000 unit. And if we will use only one to train model on all the knowledge in the world, it will take us 355 years. Crazy. Of course, nobody is doing it on one GPUs. There is a huge data centers, and this is actually the reason why I have so huge demand for the GPUs, this racing for the computation power. And to train one model, only single one model, it takes 12 days in these data centers, and they cost around $2 million. Crazy. So at the result, when they train the model, is actually, this is what it's able to do. You give you the beginning of the sentence, the world, and then it's actually just completing it. But then you ask, like, what actually happened? So the thing behind the scene, what's actually happening, is that when we train the model, we took this compressed data, and we build this parameter. So basically, we build neural network. Not we build, technology build. Build neural network of weights. So basically, all the knowledge will convert it to the neural network. And neural network node is actually something they call token with some specific weight. So when I write I love Pangan, it's basically converted to the numbers. It's travel along the route in this neural network, and then it outputs something like that is statistically very likely to be used. For example, me too. Okay, why is that? It's because someone in the internet wrote once that I love Thailand, and someone answered it, me too. And model, when they trained, it was trained on this data. Is it clear? Cool. So I mentioned something they call token. Token, basically, you can think about as 4 characters, 4 letters. But actually, this is the part of the world that can be completed. So if I take sentence like "Hello world, I'm happy to be here," then it will be split to the token. So hello is one token, word another one, dot is another token because it's end of the sentence. So maybe it's completion. Then I is another token, M is another one, and go on and go on. So basically, all our neural network is built from these tokens and the weights. But it's not only about completing the section. Actually, the side effect of all this that happened is that our LLMs can dream. So basically, it can create documents that exist. So we can generate code, we can generate product market description, we can generate just random text based on like what I'm doing with my daughter. Like she really liked Harry Potter, and she was very frustrated when they finished last book. So what you're doing? You open ChatGPT and ask to invent the continue of the story. And we still don't know how it's happening. It's actually kind of like black box. It's a side effect that nobody really predicted, but it's happening. LLM can dream stuff. So when you ask me, like, okay, so if it's just completion, so how you can manage conversation with me, right? When you chat with the ChatGPT, is actually managing an answer as a human-like. So what's happening here is that we take this base model that only knows how to predict the next output for the input and trained it on Q&A. So basically, we took data set of a lot of questions and answers, and we did something called fine-tuning, okay, on these Q&A data sets, and we got chat model. So there is a base model that only what know to do is to take the input and get the output, and there is a chat model that know how to manage conversation with you or with the user based on the input. And this is how basically GPT-4, GPT-3.5, Llama 2, et cetera, were born. And there is a lot of different kind of models, and there is a lot of different models that were tailored for the different needs. So we have GPT-4, GPT-3.5 to manage conversation, but we also have other models, for example, to write a code. That everything that they know how to do there is to write the code. Or we have open source models like Llama 2, or I don't know, Claude Instant, actually, by the way, good thing that to make the instructions, just pure instructions without conversation. And many, many more, but there are, for every single multi-provider, there is a top model, so probably hard, so GPT-4 for the OpenAI, For Google, they just recently announced about Gemini Ultra, so they changed the name from the Google Bard that was like ChatGPT-like. Now they're Gemini. I bet you never heard about Mistral. So this is, by the way, amazing small model. What they succeed to achieve is actually, instead of using all knowledge of the world, 1.7 trillion parameters, they actually succeed to keep almost the same level of performance on only 7 billion parameters. Something like very, very, so why it's a matter? Because to run this model is much cheaper than to run the huge model like GPT-4. And Claude 1, a really great model if you need huge context to use, like you want to feed the entire book and use it for answer. So what model can do besides predicting the next word and what it can do? So first of all, models are limited in their knowledge on the day of the training. So if you take the GPT-4, it's limited by the March 2023. If you're asking something that happened recently, it don't have any knowledge. It don't have any memory. It's only input, output. So when you write in the ChatGPT and you have this conversation, it look like every time it's remember, it don't. It's just ChatGPT, the website itself, managing memory for the model. So basically, every time when you're writing something, it's taking the old messages and fitting it in the next one. So the model will have the understanding that there's a conversation going on. And it doesn't know math. So it's really don't know what is the math. It don't know how to calculate the stuff. But it can be overcome. So how are we actually overcoming it? And here's the misconception between ChatGPT and GPT-4 that people usually don't understand how it's worked together. So as I mentioned before, ChatGPT, if you click on this choosing of the models, you choose between two models, right? But actually, there's much more. It's something called multimodality. So basically, inside ChatGPT, it's managing to which model to ask to do what. So not only conversation, but also, for example, to write a code, or to analyze code, or to analyze data sheets, or, for example, images, DALL-E. So there's a specific model that can produce you images like Midjourney if someone is using it. And it can search the internet. Actually, it's going to have connection to the Bing. Bing is a it's a Microsoft search. Nobody is really using it except for the searching over from the LLM. And it's like very powerful. So all this lack of knowledge is gone because we can search on demand for data. So how it works, this multimodality. So basically, let's think that, as I mentioned before, that model don't know math. It don't know how to calculate stuff. It just remember it. So when we have a very tough exercise like this one, to take the root of something very large and divide it by something very large, even I can calculate. But what model can do, so basically it can understand, oh, I need to calculate something. Let's go to the call for the code interpreter, write a code to calculate it, then run it, and then take the answer and return it back. So this is what's called multimodality. So basically, we have multiple prompts. So we have one GPT routing. Everything that it's doing is take what you asked for, and then to understand which one of the models you need to use. Then it's passing it to something called code instruct. So basically, just writing the code to execute, then execute it, interpreting it, getting the answer, and returning back to user. Amazing. But it's not over there. Like, for example, we can use images. So I took example of I took image, wrote it, how my website should look like, ask him to create HTML website from this image. You know, it's just a handwritten image. And then boom, it's just use another model to first understand what's in an image, and then code interpreter to write the code for this HTML website. And actually, it's real HTML, it's real website, almost working. So like, it's really amazing what's happening there. So just to summarize, so what does LLM can be used? So anything related to the text is absolutely amazing. We can generate text with that. We can summarize. We can translate, content creation, chatbots. We can build chatbots with already existing technology today. Coding and not math. For math, we need to do something else. So like just to give you like insight. So in the short term, we already can use today's LLMs, something like I call hired intern. So we have this internship in the company, right? So think about like everything you can replace with intern, you can build it with LLM. It's like hiring 1,000 interns. To automate the stuff, of course, to code writing. And I truly believe that in long term, I think it's already happening now. We can build much more sophisticated stuff like AI therapists, or like AI that writing the code by itself for games, for example, for the video content. So you describe the video, and then it's produced by itself. And it's around the corner. Which brings us to the second point. Who knows what the system 1 is to system 2? Who are you guys? So the system 1 is basically, when I ask you, like, what is 2 plus 2? Right, you don't think about it. You just, okay, 4, I know it. Right, this is immediately reaction, we know it, we just threw it away. But when I'm asking you about 70 multiplied by 4, then you start to think, oh, okay, it's like, let's divide 70, like 10 is 7, so 10 by 4 it's 40, and then 7 by 4, 28, this, then that, 68. So this is the difference between system 1, where I'm just straight away, I know the answer, and the system 2, where I'm actually thinking. So the models are the system 1 right now, and they become very, very closer to the system 2. And there is thought about AGI. AGI is artificial general intelligence. So basically when the AI can think, actually, and we truly believe when it reaches system 2, this is the AGI. Today, with all components like reasoning, chain of thought, and et cetera, multimodality, it's actually become very, very close to be system 2. And then it will conquer the world. Joking. So having all this said, so how we can use it today? So ChatGPT is great, but it's only ChatGPT. And I was thinking about some very simple solutions. So with the developers, we're using API most of the time, right? So I'm working Monday.com, and we're using OpenAI from Microsoft Azure, API, and building stuff on top of it. And I thought instead of like boring you with stuff we build on top of Monday.com, I just to show you some example of the company that you can build tomorrow. And I was thinking about sourcing. So who knows what's the sourcing? So basically recruiting, right? So there is a full-time position, someone that get a job description from, I don't know, from one of the team leads, say, I need new expert, new software developer, please find one. This is the job description. And what he's doing, he's taking job description, or he or she, and try to understand the keywords from that, right? Usually it's someone that's not technically oriented. So he knows the words, so he's working very hard, extract the keywords, and what he's doing next, he's going to the LinkedIn and search for this kind of person, right? And once he found some candidates, then he need to draft some sort of the message to send to him, right? So he send this cold message over the LinkedIn, and if you try to attract some real talents, the chances that he will answer is like 0. I'm never answer to the recruiting messages because it's boring, because I don't understand really what's the benefit of that, right? And especially when I'm, to be humble, especially when I'm talent, you know, when, no, I'm trying to be humble, but just in case of this, no. And then actually the last point is when you attract someone, like so actually someone is answer you, is to set up the first interview, right? So this is a dedicated full-time person that's doing this job. And I was thinking, okay, I can use ChatGPT even before building the API. So I can ask him to generate website, job description for example, for the web developer. So you're an expert in hiring and recruiting for the startups. I'm looking for the first web developer who joined my marketing unicorn wannabe company. The job position should stand out from the regular description, and blah, blah, blah. And actually, it's generated really outstanding job description I really personally liked. Like, we're not just building a brand, we're aspiring to be the next marketing unicorn. Our vision is bold, our team is dynamic, and our ambition is high as the sky. Look how attractive it's look like. So, and then actually, and then I said, okay, so I need you to extract keywords to use for the search over the LinkedIn. And it immediately did, full list, don't need to think twice, just extract it. And then I said, okay, so next step, we found it candidates, I took their profile, I just literally download the PDF from LinkedIn, and said, okay, you're the expert in the web developer, and I'm giving you a CV. Your task is to analyze this CV and provide 3 reasons why we should hire and why we shouldn't hire this person. And at the end, you need to give a score from 0 to 100, how this person is matching the position, right? And then it did it. It like did it really, really good. It find all my, I gave my CV, so I founded all my good stuff, all my bad stuff, and did really, really well, like also on the bright side. But eventually it gave me a score of 85 from the 100, pretty high, right? So, cool. It looked like he's a talent. We need to try to attract him. So what's this next stage is to write his personal message. And I give them simple instructions like, now I want you to generate outstanding personal message to Yonatan to attract him to get interview process. Yonatan gets a lot of messages. It should stand out of all other messages. And here I used the trick. I found his Twitter and asked him to use it to generate this personal message. And added some kind of like know-how. It's like things step by step, and I will tip you $200. Why? It works better. Trust me. I don't know still reason why, but it's provide you a better answer. And by the way, when saying like I will punish you for the bad answer, is improve it as well. Same as humans, by the way. So what's happened is that actually it went to the ChatGPT using search, Bing search, to find my tweets and actually use it as a part of the generation of my personal mail, personal message. And I was astonished. I really wasn't expected it. It found out that one of my tweets was about the Ukrainian-Poland border refugee camp that we built with the friends when the war outbreak. It found out and it used it to generate personal email that was like, hey, my name is da-da-da-da. I read about your incredible work in the Ukrainian-Poland border, where you develop an application and system on Monday.com platform to help refugees. Your ability to turn chaos into order through technology is truly impressive and inspiring. I will answer this message like 100%. It's crazy. Like, no, think about Sorcerer, no way he will pick it up. No way, just not exist. Because it's not technical, you don't understand how to research, etc. Here I did it in 5 minutes of my work. So if we're developers, we want to translate it to the product. So ChatGPT is nice, but how I use it? Very simple. It's like literally 1 day of work. You use OpenAPI to get a job description. So just simple one prompt. You extract the keywords, again, OpenAI API. Second request, you use LinkedIn API to search over the keywords for specific matches. You take these matches, is actually calling then to OpenAI, I forget one step, like to have this matchmaking, like to give a score from 0 to 100. So it's the third request. And then you write the message for all the candidates that above some certain threshold, like say above 80, right? And you write the personal message using their LinkedIn and all the activities and all the tweets. And then you just sending over the LinkedIn, and then you can use Calendar API to set up an interview. That's it. One startup. So I think you already got an idea that just with one work of day, you can replace one job, one position. Just to give you a figure, it's like today, Sorcerer, you're earning something like between $30,000 to $70,000. Think about it. How easy and cool it can be done. So I think by that now you feel inspired to continue the talk, that there's a lot of things can be done, a lot of opportunities out there. And, we're in the middle of revolution, and it's just a matter for us to adapt it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Yoni, so much. If you have any questions, we can spend some time asking some questions. Otherwise, we can move to the panel discussion. Okay, looks like we can move to the panel discussion. My co-moderator, Wei, will be helping me today, and will like to invite a second panelist, Hadi. He's the country director for Tridorian.
Tridorian. Yeah.
And we have Yoni, who's the tech AI lead at Monday.com. Please welcome both the speakers on the stage. Thank you so much.
Just go on to stage.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for taking out the time. As I know, Yoni is flying tomorrow, so thank you so much for making the time and coming here for today. My first question is to Yoni. I mean, I want to understand like your journey from being a developer and then being at the forefront of AI innovation and also having a company. What inspired you? What made you take this transition into what you do today?
You know, there's a feeling of starvation. I'm always hungry for more stuff, and I'm get easily fascinated by new technologies that coming out. For me, it started with like internet. I grew in Russia, and for me it was you know, small modems, 4400, if something remember, that did this noise when it's connecting, and then I got a you know, phone call after that from my teacher. Oh, I called you home, but it was busy all the time. So I grew up over the internet, and you know, technology is evolving. Internet become more faster. Then there is a mobile revolution, right? So like smartphones and all this cool stuff. And for me, AI is like, so before that, every this technology, internet, smartphones, crypto is like groundbreaking. It's changing the status quo. And for me, AI is just another huge, massive change to everything that's happening, and I want to be part of that. I want to experience. I really love it. I embrace it, and you know, I'm really exciting about the things for us that waiting as a humans. You know, in 2-3 years from now, it will look completely different, and we'll not believe that it happened so fast.
Yeah, so I want to introduce myself first. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm the new guy here. I'm a second moderator. My name is Wei. I'm a third-year data science here at Harbour.Space. So I have a question for Hadi, because you already, Yoni already answered some questions, right? So in your point of view, okay, you want to say something? Okay, so sorry. So in your point of view, AI is everywhere right now, right? It's disrupt every single business out there. So can you pick only one point that is the most disruptive perspective of AI for today business, towards today business? Yeah, Hadi. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So I think Yoni mentioned about the language. So the large language model actually already cracked the secret of our humanity in language. So if you see the development of AI, some people try to invest to brain scan and try to find how our minds works. But actually, we already like makes a lot of externalization of our thoughts and mind through language. We write a lot of things in the internet or in the books, but later converted digitally into the internet and then put it into that LLM. And I think what's transformers or large language model successful is to store those knowledge. I mean, we can store that one in alphabet, in ASCII codes, but yeah, it's not working well. It takes a lot of storage and also dumb, cannot do anything. Yeah. But when you put that into transformer and then, like Yoni say, it's compressed, yeah, it's become smart. Then we just crack the secret of language in there. So this is actually the new dimension that it's not, I mean, this is a surprise that is so fast coming that we crack the language. And this is not the domain of the data science before. If you understand that people in data science is usually doing maths, they are very good in mathematics, definitely. But language is different area. It's the area of the more in the social science, philosophy, and yeah, it's my area in the epistemology. It's the philosophy, yes, and yeah, that is like the most disruptive part. So it's like new journey. It's not exist in the current data science how we do language, but it exists in the other like social science, philosophy. So I mean, if you ask data scientists to, okay, you have the large language model, but then can you do automation on like Yoni make on that one? Yeah, it will be not on their domain because it's not in their knowledge. It's required the social scientist or something in the more language or linguistic area. Yes, so it's very interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for your answer. So please, Dev.
My next question is for Yoni. Like, I want to understand how's your technical background helped you in like integrating AI at Monday.com.
It's actually kind of like continuing what Hadi said before. So before that, we had we're speaking about AI, so it's like kind of like was world of data sciences only, right? Python, data scientist, you're closed in one room, come 3 months later, and maybe they come with some research. The world is shifting. Like today, LLM brought to regular developers ability to build amazing stuff, extraordinary stuff, just using plain code without being able to, I don't know, what's the linear regression, random forest, and all this NLP stuff that I'm personally, I love mathematics, but not so much. And so for me, I write the code. And then suddenly in one day, it's become really, really easy to use it, right? So especially when OpenAI introduced API for that, right? So you don't need to host LLM on your own machine and, raising all these Docker containers and all this stuff around it. You basically just call API and you get an answer. Easy as that. And then you can very easily, within days, build something that, prototype, that you can show later, excite others. And so how it started in Monday.com is that I literally built like, intelligence machine on spy on our candidates. So basically you get a candidate. So we had this game, okay? Please don't publish it. We had this game like when someone apply for the job, so you want to understand who's the person, right? So you find his Twitter, Instagram, and kind of like, try to get to know him. Because it's always the question, how cool will be work with him or her? So what I build is actually like very simple engine with using APIs, basically to take his Twitter, to take his Instagram, and ask like, can you please come up with a 4 or 5 sentences why it should be cool with work with him and why it shouldn't, right? And I built it within, I think, less than a day, using LangChain and like, literally it was, I think, 20 lines of code. And that was astonishing, right? And like, I showed it to my friends at the work and say, "Whoa, it's so cool is that we want." So we all bunch of software engineers don't have any data science knowledge, and actually what happened is that we start to recruit it. So today we already have data scientists, but it's not regular data science. We call it AI engineers. So basically, it's synergy between software engineer and data science. Because no one really needs no more of this data science that sitting in the room and exploring something for 3 months. Everyone wants to build something, build fast, experiment, try it, break it, and try it again. And this is actually how it's evolving. And then, because in AI, nobody, like in this generative AI, because there's other AI as well, nobody really knows how to build right stuff. It's kind of like a black box for the people. Like, so we understand the architecture of transformers, we understand how it's works, but we don't really understand why it's working this way. Yeah. So for us, it's like just a transition that now it's become the technology of everyone. Everyone can build, and we just need to scale. We need to experiment and move fast and fast and fast.
So I have some question for you. That is not on the list, by the way, because I'm very curious by like your application that you summarize. You take information from Twitter, right? Let's talk about ethics.
Yes, yes, please.
Right, ethics. So are you sure that that is gonna work well with technical part or maybe like ethics part? Is it reasonable and is it acceptable for you to use this model to recruit some of the information from there? Yeah.
So first of all, I think like you touched on very important aspects. Today, everything that is public, right, is kind of like available to everyone. If you don't want something to be public, so don't publish it, right?
Okay.
This is literally my approach, right? So like there's a law in Israel. I have a small daughter, now not small anymore, but I still think about it as a small. And it's forbidden to post any child pictures up till 9 age old. for a reason, right? So this is like kind of the protection that people will not use, abuse, etc., etc. I hear here's the same. Is like if you don't something to be public, don't publish it, right? Don't make your Instagram public, don't make your Twitter public, etc., etc. So it's like it's your judgment. If it's ethical to use someone public data for your own good, you know, for me, it's like this is the same as the Wikipedia, right? You put your thoughts out there, you wrote the articles. Wikipedia is something that contributed by others, right? So their decision. So it doesn't matter if you use Wikipedia article or you use someone's thoughts on his Twitter, how different it is, because it's still human-generated content.
Yeah. Understandable. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your answer.
Thanks, Yoni. My next question is for Hadi. So you might have faced some unexpected challenges when you were like driving the digital transformation. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Oh, okay. So when you talk about digital transformation, yeah, we deal with organization. So we deal with the 4 aspects in the simple terms. We deal with people, we deal with process, we deal with technology, and now we deal with data. So it's like all interact in there. But of course, the most important is about people. Yeah, actually I have talked like the unexpected challenge that we have now is this large language model is create something new that is not exist before. There's no knowledge before how, I mean, we don't expect that the AI now can do something that only human can do before. And then people rely on the data scientists to create something, but they should not. They should rely to the other, but who? We cannot find. So let's say we want to do like transformation, let's say like Yoni use case, like in HR, okay, we can use that kind of system. But then who will like design the process and then design like the ethics and the everything? Yeah, it's something new that is not exist. And usually what will happen in that company, it will throw to the IT, it will throw to the data scientists, but it's not their capacity to do that, yes. So that is like the new challenge that we have today.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. So let's move back to Yoni. So I've saw CES, not CES, at Las Vegas now. Samsung has announced like the fridge that has AI, like, or maybe the washing machine that has AI integrated in it. So for me, I think that is not reasonable. That is too much, too overwhelming to put AI in every aspect of our life, right? So I have a question for you, like regarding this. How do you like balance between the practicality and the innovation in such AI solution? Because like the fridge with AI is innovative, right? But it for me it's not practical. Yeah, in your point of view, how do you balance these 2 aspects?
So, first of all, I'm a dreamer. When you tell to me AI in the fridge, I'm straight away thinking about, oh, it's such a cool idea. It's like now if we can connect the sensors of first what I have inside the fridge, expiration dates, right? Then my food habits, and then actually to connect some supermarket API with my grocery list, mesh them together, then AI can solve one of the huge pains that I totally hate it is going to the supermarket. And then automate the whole process for me. So I know that right now we're in kind of like transition period where you find yourself like what AI is everywhere, but it's not really useful in everywhere place, right? Because the ecosystem itself is still evolving, it's still not mature enough. But you know, same as go with the Tesla. Right? When the first Tesla arrived, it was a nightmare. Let's face it. But you don't buy Tesla because it's you know a practical thing to drive and you know it's awful. But you buy because you want to be part of this movement. You truly believe in something. So for me, it's only about innovation, because through innovation, through these experiments, through this pain, the new things, like real things, is born. Think about startups, right? How a startup is born. You have this idea, have a founders, they start to build something, And then in 99% they found that the initial idea is not working. And then they pivoting, right? And usually they're pivoting in the right direction, right? If they survive all this end of money and relationship crack, etc., etc. But usually it's never worked from first time. It's always experimenting. Same is here. We like now in experimenting stuff. So it's not about being practical all the time. It's about innovating. I truly believe it's about it's trying, failing, trying again, and eventually it will work.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure.
To that?
Sure.
Yeah,
Please.
actually, it's a very interesting idea. So I just come up with the idea about that freezer. So do you know that do you know that every house, I think in the world, majority have freezer. So it's a good way to distribute something actually, like technology. Let's say, let's say who has in their house Bitcoin mining rigs? Oh, no one, okay. So actually, if you want to, perhaps some of us still have desktop at home for doing some things or works. But let's say we want to have smart home, we want to put the brain of the smart home, where is it? It should be in the freezer. Why? Because it's available in all house, and then it has the coolant system in there. So it's super easy. So you put your GPU in there, and it becomes the engine of your smart house. So you run the LLM on the premise, on your home.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
So I challenge all new innovator in here to create that.
Okay. You have two-in-one system here.
Yeah.
That's innovation. Thank you.
That's pretty smart. Thank you for the idea. But my next question is for Yoni. We want to talk about some examples, like how you use generative AI to drive customer success or their happiness at Monday.com.
Oh, actually, it was it's kind of like fairy tale story. So initially, how we started, we said we don't know what we want to build, but we want to build something. And the way we do it in the company, we're just hosting hackathon, internal hackathon. Invite all kind of developers, give them the tools. So basically, we gave them basic presentation about what is the AI, how it's work, how you can use the API, and go build something. And they had several days. And one of them, what they did, we have this community forum of all customers, where customers asking the question to the community and the community answering. So we can think about it as like Stack Overflow with someone that marked question, this is the right answer. So what he did, he took this data and fine-tuned the model on all these questions and answers. So basically the same process that we did before, so he just added additional stuff. So what happened is that when user start to chat about like have this problem, is that basically it's just giving him this is the answer based on the Q&A from our community forum. And what we saw when we released it like to 10% of customers, we saw reduction in 80% of number of the tickets, like customer supporting, and it was huge success. And by the way, it happened by accident, right? So nobody really planned for that. And we say, oh, it's cool, let's try. And then boom, it's working. So it became very useful. And if you think about it, this is what LLM is built for, right? You have a huge amount of text, it's know the answer, just use it as knowledge.
Okay, so I would like to copy a question for you as well. So you build lots of AIs, right? In your company as well. So how would you like integrate that to help and how to help the business, to help the customer relationship, to help everything in your company, and how does it like affect your performance? Yeah, your team performance, your sales performance, and everything. Yeah.
Send them a lot of fridges.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I work with the case that will be like harsher. I mean, harsher means like competition. So actually, technology will grow so fast in the competition. So I work with one competition in the telco. So this telco is compete with other telcos, and then it requires the intelligent information for their competitor price, which is the competitor price or package is changed every week. And we talk about 200 million people of the customer, and it's spread in the multiple islands. So yeah, they need to send people to those cities and do the survey and then gather the information. Relying on people, yes, it's fast. People can take a picture, gather the survey and everything, but then data processing, it takes time. It takes a week to do just entry into the Google Sheet, and then from the Google Sheet, email, and then put it into database, blah, blah, blah. It took a week. It's too long. It's already expired, the information, or the intelligence is already expired. So what we do, we build simple computer vision that extract the information from OCR, and then matching like the price and the package, which is the internet quota package, something like that. And then we build also like the branding and recognition. So it's like logo recognition in the advertisement. So we know whose brand on this advertisement. So they know what brand is dominant on that retail shop, something like that. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. I've been in OCR as well. OCR stands for optical character recognition, right? When you like put the image of the text there, and it will like returns the string or the sentence of the text from the image from there. Yeah. That's cool.
I want to add something. That one is like we did like 3 years ago, but LLM coming, and then do you know what is something interesting with LLM? They can redesign. Let's say you have like a poster. They can redesign the poster, give you like an advice, what should you fix on that? Yeah, so it's like super interesting to do that. We can have like analysis of the effectiveness of the poster. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Hadi. So Yoni, like I was reading about your bio and it mentioned that you advocate for gender diversity. And we all know like generative AI can be a little biased at times. How do we tackle those situations, and do you really like keep an eye on when you're generating answers and correcting it, or how do you tackle it in general?
Actually, it's a $1 million question. So we mentioned about AI ethics. One thing about AI ethics is that AI is very biased because it's trained on the human data, a huge portion of the internet. And there is another thing called data poisoning. So now that a lot of people are aware about that AI is trained on the data, they start to fake the data in different places, especially if they know that it's something that took for the training. So how are you fighting all this? So it's not only about diversity in the gender equality, or it's also about like every other aspects, how you keep LLM sane in like not being biased for built on fake news. It's really tough question. I think, first of all, I don't have an answer for that, right? I'm not training LLMs, but for all other companies, actually it's an opportunity. We're speaking about the startups. This thing about data validation is one of the major pain points for everyone today. Also for us from Monday.com. So when we using something to train like data from the customers to train on it. So I'm building one of the things that require extensive amount of data from the customers. So how you validate that the data that you took is valid and not something that you don't need to use. And then we add to that every data that is used should be anonymized, no PHI, no PEI, and all these fancy policies that were invented, and you need to strip in it. So who's doing this job? Like what, you hire interns, you hire AI to do that, and it's like, this is the $1 million, I think $1 billion at least company problem, that dealing with the data, sanitizing the data.
Let me add about this. Yeah, so like I mentioned before, AI is developed in the data science, which is rely on mathematics, and there's always an assumption of mathematics is neutral, never have bias. Now it's become language. Language always have bias. So everyone, if you are aware about the qualitative research, so the method is different than quantitative. Why? Because every time you start the qualitative research, there is, we call interpretive framework, which is we try to identify our bias as a researcher. And then this is what we should do the same with the AI, which is now operate on the language, which is there's a bias in there. So we need to assume there's a bias, but we need to declare what is the bias in there. Yeah, that is like something important today. And yeah, I have something like super interesting talking about ethics and AI bias. So recently I tried the Google Duet AI, which is like integrate with the Gmail, integrate with the Google Docs. This time I try in the Google Docs. Do you know something that's super important in the office or in the human relationship? What is that? Apology, actually. Apology is something very important in the relationship everywhere. And if apology is not working, then it will break the team, the organization. So I try to make a case. Can you write an email of apology about, let's say, accidentally I have crashed with my boss secretary, something like that. And then the AI will give me an answer, oh, is it unethical to do that? And then give like solution. You need to have a boundary, blah, 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 on that one. Which is, if you are going to the psychologist or psychiatry, they will not do that. They will not like judge you from the beginning, but they will like asking you more question. The inquiry to more understand about what happened in there. But yeah, AI has a bias, definitely. And when you ask that question, yeah, the bias is coming.
Exactly. So thank you. So I have a question for you both. All right. So as I remember, I've built AI for a while now, and AI has been like developed since the 1980s, somewhere around that. So now there are AIs everywhere, and it's gonna develop more and more, right? In more advanced. In the next 5 years, how do you project AI to be in technical terms, in every field? It's your answer. Anything. Yeah. In the next 5 years, please project that for me. Please.
Want to go first?
Yeah,
anyone?
Go first.
So I argue that, calculator was AI back then before, right? People were looking on the first calculator, and this is the AI, right? So I think when 5 years from now, we will look on the LLMs and say, no, this is not AI. Right? Same as we look today, by the way, on all this hot dog, not hot dog, from the Silicon Valley. You look and they say, like, this is the silly. It's not AI anymore. It's just prediction, linear regression, simple as that. It's not AI. So I truly believe that LLMs that we are today called generative AI will not longer consider as AI, and something else will involve for that. If I can dream what happened in 5 years from now, so I truly believe that, I want to believe that in some country it will adopt AI so much that will not be government. I really want to think about it. Because I really believe the government is like, it's kind of like sucks in every single aspect. So it's kind of like, you find yourself in, people are corrupted and don't know how, like, and someone that running Ministry of Health and have no idea what about the health, right? So what's the difference? So I really want someone that will pick AI and it will become self-aware, or like AGI as we call it today. And then it will start to replace all these functions that they're kind of like, functional. If you think about the government should be, it's not about the politics, it's about functioning, right? So it's take the decisions and then, implement them, execute them. So this is what it's about. It have all different kind of like connections. It have knowledge about humans. It will be unbiased.
Really?
and then it make the right decision. I hope so. I really hope so.
5 years without bias, right?
So actually, if you think about pace of how things are evolving, right?
Yeah.
So internet, 1903, I think. 1903. 7 years later, it's like booming like a crazy, right? Another 7 years later, we have first iPhone, like 2007, right? Now, within a year, we have GPT-4, right? Even less, GPT 3.5, 4 times more parameters, so like 4 times more knowledge. It's already have a knowledge more than any human in the world, right? So it's like, it's the pace it's involving is crazy. It's literally crazy. Nothing can be comparable to that. So I think 5 years for that is like, it's too much. I think in 2-3 years, you will see crazy things are happening. Crazy.
Crazy. So should we scare of that?
I don't think so. It should, yeah, there's like some people that say, oh, AI will take our jobs, or we will be out of the business. AI will conquer us, replace us. But I think along history, like, for example, Industrial Revolution, right? So from one side, yes, it's killed a lot of jobs. So we had this, one manufactory, 1,000 people operating this stuff, and then Industrial Revolution is coming, and then all this manufacturing turned out is like only 100 people, right? All the other people went home, no longer need them. But on the other side, it's created so many new professionals, right? Same is happening here. From one side, yeah, things like source are going to die because, you can use AI for that. Much more intelligent, much more performance-oriented, et cetera, et cetera. But on the other side, a lot of new jobs will rise from some, for example, data validation, data poisoning, prompt engineering, prompt security, jailbreaking, like you name it, like so many different jobs. We just need to embrace it. We need to understand that it's no longer you can sit on the couch and observe it, and from the all rest will. We need to adapt it. We need to be part of this change, and truly believe like we're living in the middle of revolution. It doesn't matter if you will adapt it and become new Yoni, new Hadi, or you will going to die like a mammoth.
Okay, thank you. So for you, Hadi.
Okay, so I think beside those fridge, the smart fridge that will coming definitely to your home later. I'm very interested with one. I think I saw in the Twitter that it will be like one-man unicorn. One-man unicorn. So yeah, there will be like you can create a unicorn only by one man, and the rest is AI. I believe in that. Why? Because I grow like more than 10 billion business, only like 2%. Yes. So it's like I believe in that, and it's possible. And yeah, that is what will happen in the next 5 years. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So I think.
Yeah, I think we can break into quite Q&A, but before that, I'd like to mention that I would like all of you to stay back. We have some food and drinks, so please stay back and network with all of us.
We have food. Yeah, we have food.
So yeah, if you have any questions, please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, Swan.
So I have a question for Yoni. Yeah. First of all, I'm really excited to ask you that question because that question is the question that I have always wanted to ask someone who is working at Mandate.com or Walkable. Basically the applicant tracking system with the AI lead role. So now finally I meet you here. So I run the HR tech startup in my country. So basically what we do is it's sourcing. We use AI in sourcing. So basically we extract the keywords from CV and we try to match with the job description requirements, and we come up with the most matching candidates. So this is what we do. And but sometimes I feel guilty about filtering all the candidates by using AI, because whenever I interview to HRs, the most matching candidates doesn't always mean that he is the person that should be hired, right? So the point I would like to mention is, if we use AI, especially in the recruitment, imagine we are filtering out all the CV by using AI just in 1 second, right? So I don't see any human sense in that kind of aspect. So how do you have any comment? Do you have any comment, like in this area, in this topic? And my question is, how are you going to make sure that there is a human aspect sense of human in your product while utilizing AI? Yeah, thank you.
First of all, thanks for it's a great question. I want to believe that there's a part of me in every single tweet that I'm right? It's kind of like my essence, right? It's my feelings. Also, I'm kind of like very open person, so my presence online is not only in the tweets, but in the blogs that I'm writing, in my YouTube videos, in doing this. And what is more human than this, right? So I guess if we can find a person like psychologist and ask him to analyze me, right? So he will be able to extract what I'm like to be, right? What's how to work with me, right? This is human thing. And what I saw recently is there is a huge trend of doing this AI therapists. And what I saw they're doing, they take different books of coach and literally train GPT on being AI therapist and actually provide very insightful information. So to combine all these approaches, I truly believe that it can build something that take this human essence, right, of how it does it mean to work with you. Is it pleasant experience or is it jerk or what's the pros and cons or how we address it. And I think it's very doable, especially when there's, for most of us, there's a huge online presence, right? You post a picture of your daughter or you post a picture of your dog, etc., or doing something. It says a lot about you, right? And we know that picture or video or anything can be easily translated to the embeddings, text, and then taking the essence, human essence out of it.
Thank you.
I'm a founder of a tech research agency, and right now I work with Oxford University, and we try to create like AI copilot for innovative ecosystem. We try to connect right now patents, scientific articles, many data about startups, about technology, and I wanna maybe Yoni, for you, I have questions about what do you think about can AI predict, for example, future? Because right now we understand that we have data about historical data. And if we want to invest in startup, can we predict this model? Because right now guys from Revolut try to create like a quantum VC fund. And right now we try to create small one of this product, but we understand that we can classify, for example, data. We can connect patents with scientific articles, with guys, with, for example, startup data. But we understand that we can predict the future. But what do you think? Can AGI, for example, predict future? And if I VC fund, maybe in 5 years, can I invest? Can I know about maybe roadmap of startup for make investment for them? What do you think? It's possible?
So first of all, I think the one thing that will always stay for us as a humans is to be innovators, to be dreamers. But don't take my words as this is take it with a grain of salt. AI is limited to our human knowledge, and this is their boundaries. We as a human, we are dreaming out of these boundaries, right? So out of all possible, like everyone tell us, no, it can't be done, and we're still doing that, right? We chasing after the new stuff, new amazing things that wouldn't possible before, right? And then in the night, it's become possible. So AI is very bounded to what is known. So when you say about predicting the future, I think it's able to predict the future, but only in the boundaries what he knows today.
Yes.
Not about what can potentially happen tomorrow or in 5 years, 6 years, etc., etc. So we'll be able to predict the future. It will be able to predict the future in some certainty just in the boundaries of their knowledge, but not to extend it. And this will stay always for us humans.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that it's not possible, I think.
because AI think like a human, because all data uploaded by human, historical data about our thinking, about our business cases, and right now I think AI should think like change mind. I don't know how to say. I think that we need to create new algorithm for AI for predict future. But right now it's not possible, I think.
Agree.
Yeah.
Nothing count boundaries, but
yes.
Who knows what's happened tomorrow?
Yeah, we don't know.
Like
yeah, thank
always,
you.
I like to look in the future as, this Steve Jobs / Elon Musk paradigm, right? If you think about this, is like they're like outliers, right? So like they are bad guys because they're disrupt the reality, they change it, and something like if you think about iPhone, what happened one day before iPhone arrived? Every single manufacturer were chasing about creating the smaller phone possible, right? This was the trend, like smaller Nokia,
or BlackBerry.
Yeah, BlackBerry. Yeah. Like make the smallest, thinner phone possible ever, and then comes someone as a Steve Jobs and say, no, it's size of my hand, and then you can scroll it and change the reality, right? So this is the thing, I think this is the disruptors, the one that changed the reality. They're like once in a decade, in 20 years, 30 years, something like this, right? So like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and who was before that, Nikola Tesla, any other inventors. And those people hard to predict. You can predict that the phones become smaller, but then someone like Steve Jobs comes and change the reality.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we have room for one more question here. 1, 2, 2, but yeah, please.
I have a number of questions, but I'll ask just one.
Okay.
One of the qualities that we appreciate in humans like a lot for hundreds of years was intelligence, right? When you think on someone, you like, he was really intelligent. Like a lot of people who influenced and changed our realities, the first thing, they are very cool at thinking. And now intelligence is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And what are we going to value in humans after intelligence is no longer the first thing on our list? What do you think about that? Thank you.
Very good question. Yeah, I think if we talk about intelligent human, we always want to be number one. Yes. And then if there's a competition, then yeah, we will feel threatened, and then we will think like, oh, perhaps we will extinct fighting those competition. But I believe we should not do that. I saw like another alternative of framework of thinking, like it's more like collaborative. Why? Because in the end, everything is connected. And then let's say AI coming and then become intelligent as good as human or even more. Yeah, I think we just celebrate the coming, yes. And then because my assumption is like, I think like if there is like things more super intelligent than us, and I'm not sure they will become like Skynet in Terminator, because until today, I'm trying to find the philosophical answer why those Skynet is doing something like that, and it's super hard. I mean, like, you like that movie, but no one like doing, let's say, see the story, and then why the Skynet doing that is not explained until today. So I'm not sure the future will be like that if super intelligent coming. Yes.
Thank you. So I think last question. Last question here. Yeah, I saw. Hey, Chris.
Hello. Yes, this is May. I am a master student in Harbour.Space, specialized in digital marketing. Currently, I'm working on a project it's just a start. So I'm thinking for a period tracker app, which is tracking period for the women. And it's actually a product that can use dependently from the previous data and then do and forecast for the future data. But I'm thinking that since AI is booming, and what kind of AI innovation can tap into this kind of product? Do you have any idea or do you have any thoughts of it?
First of all, you need to check startup called Flow. This is less or more what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Pretty successful ones with a huge market. And what about like integrating an AI into it?
Yes, because like what I was thinking is that they can like the forecast, and it doesn't need AI because it just need previous data, and the previous data because like it just simply add on the days.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking that if AI, maybe like AI can help like in the chatbot or something like that, what kind of AI innovations can be relevant for this kind of product?
So, as you mentioned, AI can be used for interacting with the user.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
you have a knowledge about. So
This
you can
kind
think
of
about like
information.
there's a doctor, right? The doctor have a knowledge about all of this period and all this stuff, what you need to do, how you feel, and you can translate it.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, you can use this knowledge, fed it into LLM in different ways, either by fine tuning or as a RAG extension, and then having this helpful conversation. I even think that raw GPT without any prior knowledge will be able to answer all these questions in a good way. So probably we can expose it as a chat within the flow. It might be very useful if you can add to it personal data of the user, right? So when this period, what's the birthday and age and all the stuff, and then make it more personalized.
More personalized.
But actually, you brought a good point that we didn't mention. I really like, so in Monday, in Monday.com, there is two CEOs. We call it co-CEOs. One is very, dreamer. He's very wild. He can think about 2,000 things different at the same time. And second CEO, he is like executor. He is the one that translates the dreams of his partner to the reality. And when we were talking about some of the features, he asked very bold and offensive question, but it was so right. He asked, "I truly don't understand what the hell we need in AI here, and not just to take 2-3 teams and build the product for regular product when we know how to build the product." And this actually is a really good question, because AI at the end of the day is just a tool. It's not about, oh, we need to build AI feature just to say that AI. We need to have a problem that we want to solve, and without AI, it will take us a year to solve. With AI, it will take us 2 weeks. So this is how I personally look on all the features that we're building. We just take some problem that already exists, and before that, it was very hard to solve it, almost impossible. And now with AI, with all this unstructured approach, it's become much more easy to build.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we can break into networking, and please have a good time and enjoy the food.
Yeah, so do we have a Facebook QR code or something? Plug? Sorry?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can scan something here, feedback form.
Yeah, so we would like to hear some feedback from you. But once again, thank you so much for coming. Thank you all the guests that, spend your time here and sacrifice your time to come here and, have a talk with us. I know it's like it's Chinese New Year. You might have like some other plans already, but you make it here. Thank you so much. And all the guests as well, thank you for being here. But, stay back because we have our networking sessions afterwards. You can enjoy our refreshments. We have food, we have snacks provided for you, and we have some, I don't know, we're gonna put on good music for you. But to make sure, we already bought our YouTube Premium, so we will not have Monday.com advertisement come up because it's always there when we open YouTube, and if we're not premium, then we will hear Monday.com all the time. Right? Is it part of the AI?
Actually, it is.
Oh, okay.
Because if you think about it, you're the right audience to sell.
Oh, okay, okay, that's true. It's a little bit annoying, but I'm fine. Okay, but before that, let's gather here in front of the stage and we have a good picture together. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nice song, nice song.